Hey guys, this is Jason Grimm, architect on the OpenStack private cloud team, and today I'm going to show you a Vagrant wrapper that I wrote for deploying DevStack. Um, I think particularly useful for advanced DevStack configurations. If you've ever tried to deploy or work with DevStack, you'll know that it's a great tool, except it does not have great documentation, and with so many configuration options, it's easy to build a brick in DevStack versus what you actually want. So you can download this Vagrant file and find the instructions here on my GitHub repository. It's got all the files, and it's got a pretty decent document on how to configure the items that are in there. So essentially, you just download VirtualBox and download the Vagrant file. And we'll start by taking a look at the Vagrant file. You can see it's quite long. What I've done is I've variabilized everything that's in there. So instead of putting this in statically each time or trying to find where it goes, you can just set all the variables up here. I use build type inversion just for naming and turning some features on and off. Set the home directory, log directory, things like that. Set one of the NICs for promiscuous mode for Neutron, and image name and image URL. So I'm on this build I'm using just the Vagrant images that come from Hashi, but you can specify your own image URL as well. The Vagrant network and public and private networks default mask. You can turn proxy on and off, particularly helpful if you're doing a lot of builds. You don't want to download the packages every time. You can use local proxy. I was using Charles on my Mac to do that. Set some other flags for some post-installation instructions. Set up my names and adapters that I want to bind my networks to, and some SSH things that create some security group rules at the end. This particular build was for an auto-scale workshop that I did, so I was creating load balancers after it came up, and here's where it sets host name and CPU and things like that. Down in the file, here's where it gets to the post section. I create some keys and then inject those keys as well. Let's keep going. Here's the most important part is the local.conf that it creates. Dynamically set your branches in one place as well as your logins and passwords. Turn your services on and off. And Neutron configuration, settings, where you want your networks bound, and turning on some other services as well. So when this runs, this took my builds from a couple of hours of building a machine each time, and then installing DevStack and testing. It took from about 2 hours per build down to about 10 or 15 minutes, and it's all documented pretty heavily. You can see that. I'm not going to go through every line here. What it looks like, this is after the build is completed, and you'll see it actually creating security group rules. I've got everything echoed out pretty well. That array that had the 21, 22, 80, and 443, that's what it's doing, is creating the ports for that now in both the admin and demo accounts. And then it goes in and sets some allocation pools, creates networks. I create some instances as well. You want to put sleep times in here because sometimes it's not ready. Commands that have to be layered. Like for instance, you create the load balancer pool, or I'm creating flavors and images, and I want that finished before the nodes kick off. And if you continue to go down, you'll see. So that's node 1, 2, and 3. That's for my load balance testing. And you'll see here that it creates a load balancer pool, sets a method and a port. Then it creates adds the members to the pool, and then it creates a health monitor, and adds the VIPs to it as well. And there's the health monitor. And it creates the VIP and adds that to the pool. Looking for, actually, right here I use the Cirrus image, and actually I'll show you in another demo where you, instead of using larger red-end images, I just netcat some HTML to port 80 on a 32 meg Cirrus image, so I'm able to spin up really as many as those as I want on my own machine here. But the last thing it does is it tests, and it's testing it's hitting the VIP basically, and then what's returning is each node's listeners coming back. It keeps hitting the same VIP over and over. Got a public and private VIP, and that's it. Hope you enjoy it.